What's up, guys, and welcome back to our Road to Dark Matter series here in BO6. And in our last video, our top comment was from Darth, saying that they want us to get any weapon done on controller with no aim assist, with also the highest sensitivity and the lowest ADS sensitivity with the highest zoom optic. And then he said, have fun. Where does the abuse end? All right, so I got my controller, and here in the settings, I think they changed the controller settings a little bit here because all I have is my stick sensitivity. That's maxed out. We'll go to our aiming. Our ADS sensitivity is going to be the lowest it can be, and we'll turn off aim assist. And I'll be working on the AK a bit today, and our highest optic I think I have is a 7x zoom, but it also has a different zoom on it as well. It's a dual optic. Yeah, I think it's this one because I do not have this one unlocked. So I guess we're using this. But if you want to leave your suggestion for what weapon you want to see us do next, go ahead and leave it in a comment down below. I'll have a comment down there as well with every weapon that we've already completed, so make sure you check that out first. That way you don't get any repeats. The sensitivity doesn't... Okay, yeah, no, that's fast. That's definitely fast. But it's been a little bit since I hopped on multiplayer. You know, I was out getting some milk, you know, buying some cigarettes, the classic absent father kind of stuff. But you guys can see why I take a little bit of step back from multiplayer here and there, because you guys want me to do some crazy ass challenges like this. And I've made the joke before, but it's actually so true, where you guys are like, get this weapon done with no hands, get your arms amputated, tie your legs behind your back, and code the game yourself from scratch, but you can only use rocks. So I don't know how long I'm gonna be attempting this challenge for. I don't even think how it's like even possible. I have most of the AK done. I think I have like 90 headshots. So like we already are a good portion of the way there. We just accidentally got one there. Some dude walked right into our shot. But I'm probably not going to stick to this for too long, because I did say leave your weapon suggestions down below, not your challenges. But I'll honor it for a game or two, I guess. But y'all are some sick individuals. Like what did I do to you? Huh? What did I ever do to you? Actually, you know what? We're going to make a change to this build. We are putting on the highest extended mag we can, so I can just spray. If I can get the 10 headshots like this, I'm stopping the challenge. I feel like if I can get the 10 headshots we need to finish our military camos, then I've earned the right to not do this anymore. But I keep dying to the same person over here at the car. They will not let me through. I feel like I just need to find a spot and like mount up or something. Because look how slow the ADS speed is. Look at this. I'm pushing down on the thumbstick as far over as I can. I know for sure I'm going to definitely forget to change these settings. And then the next time I hop on controller, or if like somebody comes over and they're trying to play and they only play on controller, they're gonna be like, what is wrong with you? What are these masochist ass settings? And this says it's a 7x zoom, but it don't seem like it zoomed that far. But I ain't complaining. I mean, I am, but if it can zoom a little bit less than I think it would, that's a W for me. Actually, you know what? Silver lining, glass half full here. Might get us into some bot lobbies. We're basically reverse boosting the way we're playing. But we are trying our hardest. We're playing in earnest. I really just want somebody to go through to the theater mode and be like, what was this dude on our team doing? Why is he so ass? And then just watch my point of view and be like, oh, he's just dumb. Like he must have lost like his hands and his feet, and he's playing with a Neuralink chip on a brain that don't work too great. I'm on outdated biological hardware. How's our stat line looking? 10 and 25, honestly? I've seen worse. I feel like peeking this guy at the car is our only way we're going to get a headshot. Either by somebody walking into it again on accident, or just by me getting the angle right for once. Ooh, come, how's that not a headshot? Hello? Does my recoil go downwards? Actually, this is the AK. It did do that. I think they just fixed it, but it should not do that. How are these not headshots? And if you guys have been around for a bit, you know we have this segment called Gamer Guy Does Sports Talk, and it's been a little while. There's been a few Lions games since we've last done a multiplayer video, and there's a lot to talk about. And maybe if I start yapping, I'll start playing better because I'm not thinking about it too much. So, the Lions, currently, we are, was it 12-1? 13-1? Some crazy stat. We have a crazy amount of wins right now. I think it's the most wins in a row, or the most wins straight in franchise history. It's absolutely insane. It feels like every time I start talking about the Lions here, I'm talking about some sort of stat that is like the first in our franchise's history, which is a little embarrassing, but I'm living in the moment, and I'm having fun with it now. And it's been so long since we talked about it on here. I don't even remember what the last game was that we did talk about. It might have been the Texans game, maybe the Colts game. I honestly don't know. But our most recent game, we played against the Packers on Thursday Night Football, which was a pretty close game. It really came down to the wire towards the end there, but in the first half, we're kind of balling out with a bunch of plumbers on our defense. And if you guys don't know, the Lions have a bunch of players on IR for injury, and they are mostly on our defense. Like we have, what was the number? It was like 18 players or something like that on IR, which basically means they're going to miss 4 or more games. And it's usually like 4 is the minimum, and the rest of the guys out for the season. So we're signing players from like other teams' practice squads, which is basically like literally players that teams employ just to practice against and like try to emulate other teams' like schemes and things like that. So players that are like great athletes, like good enough to get to the NFL, but not to the point where they're making a full 53-man roster. So we're playing people that most teams literally just employed for their teams to practice against. Like we have so many people on IR, I thought they were about to start doing open tryouts, and I was about to run that shit back. Now I haven't played since high school, and I even played early in high school. I was riding the bench, but the Lions need me, I'm coming. And I would have been on IR before I even got there. Oh, no way, we actually got a headshot. But like I was saying, in that first half against the Packers, you couldn't even tell that we had injuries on our defense. We were going crazy. Our defense playing out of their mind. Like I said, it's a bunch of people that normally don't play at that level. Like, they are usually not in there. Like, we had guys like, oh, what's his name? Like, Pat O'Connor or something. Does that sound like a pass rusher? Like a premium pass rusher? It's not. Yet we're still making it work, and we're still going in. But I'm assuming since these guys haven't really gotten like a whole lot of like real game snaps, like they haven't played a whole lot during the season, that once we reach the second half, a lot of those guys are pretty gassed, and then the defense kind of like lets up a bit. And I don't blame them. I get winded walking to the fridge, so I really can't say shit. But it's just so impressive to me how our defense has been like really the thing holding our team back the last at least 2 years, especially like in the secondary, where it felt like basically any quarterback, any receiver was going to have a game against us. And it was so bad to the point where like sometime last year, I think it was after the Ravens game, where we just got our shit handled, that a lot of people are like coming for our defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn's head. Like they're like, get him out of here, get him fired. Our defense is trash. He's not doing anything with it. And now he's literally out there having electricians rush the passer and making it work. Like we got car insurance salesmen getting sacks and getting pressures on the quarterback. It's actually insane. Ooh, there's another headshot. I think we need like 5 more. I'm actually starting to get used to this, as messed up as it is. Ooh, there's another one. Please keep peeking me. Oh, that should have been 2. And towards the end of that Packers game, it ended in a bit of controversy, or at least a lot of people are trying to make it into controversy, where, you know, the Lions have this reputation of where we go for it on 4th down, where a lot of teams usually don't. And we went for it towards the end of the game with like 30 seconds left or something when we were in field goal range. So we could have kicked a field goal and like taken the lead. Like the game is tied. It was like 31-31 or something like that. And our kicker can definitely make it from the distance we were at on 4th down. But our coach said, you know what? I'm going to put my nuts down on this field and we're going to go for it. And as they're going for it there on 4th down, our quarterback, Jared Goff, falls over going to hand the ball off to Jahmyr Gibbs. And I almost had a heart attack. I almost had a stroke. Oh, and we got Red Tiger finally. Okay, after this game, I am not playing on these boo-boo settings anymore. It is not happening. And I also saw a lot of people saying that like he should have been ruled down since his knee hit the ground as he's like going back to hand the ball to Jahmyr. But I had a little mini stroke seeing his knee hit the ground, thinking that those were the rules. But you gotta be giving yourself up for like kneeling down like that to count as you being down, like actually taking a knee at the end of the game, like victory formation type thing. And if you are having a knee or forearm or your butt on the ground, you need to have like a person on the other team touch you for you to be ruled down. But for that like split second when Jared was falling to the ground there trying to hand the ball to Jahmyr, my heart dropped. But after that play, I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, Dan Campbell's a bad coach. He's going to end up costing this team a game in a big game. He's going to end up screwing us in the playoffs, going for these risky maneuvers. And for the most part, I disagree. Like, yeah, sometimes some of the 4th downs he goes for like are terrible. Like, I don't know what the hell you're doing. Like, we went for it on our own, like, 30-yard line earlier in that game that set up an easy Green Bay touchdown. I think the thinking behind it was, like, if we have to put our defense out there, like, our defense of the misfit toys, that at least they are going to be out there for only 30 yards or something, and maybe we can hold them to a field goal because our red zone defense has been very good. So it'll just save them some gas in the tank, but this is very heavy copium that I'm going through right now. I really can't defend that decision too much, but though going for it on 4th down at the end of the game, I definitely get, because we do have that ragtag team of players that should be working for Progressive over there on defense. We didn't want to give Green Bay another chance to go down the field and score with like however much time is left. Like, those guys are already gassed. They already started tearing us up in the second half. We're just going to leave it all on our offense and let them go out there and get the win. And they did. And now that that's done, I'm done with this controller. And for our special camos, we need to get like 50 kills with the strategist combat specialty. That's easy enough, but we actually have to get kills with the under barrel grenade launcher. That's going to be fun. That's a different one. But going back to the whole 4th down thing, people just call our head coach Dan Campbell Dan Gamble because of the amount of times we go for it on 4th. But shockingly enough, I don't think we are the team in the NFL that has gone for it the most on 4th down this season. I think I saw a stat where we're like 4th and number 1 might be the Browns, which is honestly surprising to me. I really did think that we were the team that went for it the most on 4th down, but I guess we're just the team that are just known for going for it on 4th. But I do think we have the highest conversion rate of teams that go for it on 4th, which is great. Our punter, Jack Fox, he's got like the best job in the world because there's already been a few games where he hasn't needed a punt at all, either like with us going down the field and scoring every single drive, or like our drive will end on like, you know, the half ending, or maybe even like a turnover or something. But I think there's been at least 2, maybe even 3 games where he hasn't done anything the entire time. Like, what a job. Imagine getting paid like multiple millions of dollars. I think each like game checks a few $100,000, and you get that money for just being there. And that's how I like it. I don't want to see our punter out there that much, even though for a while he was actually our best player. He was getting so many reps out there. He was getting the work in. But now coming up tomorrow, we have a big game against the Buffalo Bills, which is basically the other big team in NFL. Like, right now we are the number 1 seed in the NFC currently. The Eagles are still fighting for it. Same with the Vikings, and the Vikings have been playing really well. Eagles have really rallied this season, while also like earlier in the season, them really wanting to fire their head coach. Like, it's just crazy how fast, like, not only can things turn around, but how winning just changes everything. But the Bills have been on a tear. I think they have basically won the same amount of games as us. I think we have the same record, or they might have 1 more loss, but they are the 2nd team in the AFC, fighting for the 1st spot from the Kansas City Chiefs. And Josh Allen has just been on an absolute tear. He's probably winning MVP this year. I don't see any other player winning it over him. I think Lamar had a good chance, but the Ravens record isn't too great. I think they've dropped a few games recently, and Josh Allen's just been playing like absolutely out of his mind. I think he went like 1 game from throwing a touchdown, rushing for a touchdown, and throwing the ball to himself and catching it for a touchdown. Well, at least that's how the stats showed it. He like threw it to Amari Cooper, and Amari Cooper like lateraled it back to him, which still counts as a reception, I guess, or no reception. I don't know. He was just scoring a lot of touchdowns, and then like the next week he had like the highest like fantasy points ever for a quarterback in a game. So dude's just been tearing it up, and I don't know how well we're gonna do against him. I hope that we can somehow contain him, because any quarterback that is somewhat mobile usually tears us up, because we play a lot of man defense, and the second our corners' backs are turned and they're running with whatever the receivers are doing, the quarterback's got free reign to go wherever they want. And even just not even talking about Josh Allen running the ball, he's been throwing it like all over the map. He's just a monster. Their offense has been insane. Their defense has been very good as well. It's going to be a tough game. Like, a lot of people are saying this is going to be like the game of the year. And it's been really cool so far this year to see that like every week the Lions are playing, it's been like, oh, this is the game of the week. This is the game of the week. Because the Lions are just such a fun team to watch. And I'm really excited to watch this game. I'm also nervous going into it. I don't think there's ever been a Lions game I've gone into where I wasn't nervous, but especially this game, because this is one of the better teams in the NFL. And this can really make or break our ability to not only win our division this year, but get 1st place in the NFC, which is so crazy. I feel like a team that's 12-1 should have their division and like their conference like locked up by this time of the year. But nope, this is the year that the NFC decided to be top heavy, where every team in the NFC is like very, very competitive. Even teams that don't have like the best record at the moment. Like the Rams, I think they are like 6-6 or 7-6 or something crazy like that, where they're pretty close to 500, but they just beat the Bills and they've been having like insane games. I think they barely just won on Thursday Night Football in a very exciting game of only field goals. But that's a team that I don't think I'd want to face in the playoffs, because not only do they got that chip on their shoulder against us from us beating them in the playoffs the year before in just in the regular season, but Stafford probably not too happy with us at the moment. Puka Nacua, you know, Tyler Higbee, Cooper Kupp, I don't think they're very fond of the Lions. But it's not just the Rams. We have the Vikings within our own division is also having like an insane year. Sam Darnold is just has been revitalized. Kevin O'Connell is the quarterback guru and is completely tearing it up with him. They are like one game behind us, I think, maybe 2 games, but they still have a chance to take the division from us, which is absolutely insane this late in the year. And they are the team that we play last. Like our very last game of the year is going to be against the Vikings, and it could be for the division. And it's so unfortunate because the last, like, I don't know, at least 8 out of the last 10 years, the NFC has been like the weaker conference in the NFL, where, you know, we got a few teams in the NFC that are like heavy hitters, that are juggernauts or whatever. But then the rest of it is just like a toss-up. It was all very weak. But now all of a sudden that the Lions are good, guess what? So is the rest of the NFC and the rest of our division, really. Because the Packers have been doing very well, as much as it pains me to say it. But we did sweep them this year. So eat shit, cheeseheads. But the Vikings have been going in. And even the Bears, like, they don't have the greatest record at the moment. And they haven't won a crazy amount of games, but against all of like the divisional opponents, they all played them within a score and could have won every single one of their most recent games against everyone in our division. Like they could have beat the Packers, but I think they like blocked a field goal or something last second, or missed a field goal. And they could have beat the Vikings. They took them to overtime and then they just kind of stalled out. And then against us, they could have beat us on Thanksgiving, but then they decided that they forgot that they had a timeout, and then they had to fire their coach after that. Divisional games are some of the scariest in football because it don't matter the record, don't matter what's been going on in the season. Those games are always played hard, and it always seems to be like a toss-up, because these are the teams that you're seeing twice a year, every year. These are the teams that the coaches and the players are most familiar with. There's no messing around with them. You can't run like some cutesy plays or, you know, take risks like you normally would. It is all like super calculated and usually comes down to the wire. So week 18 is going to be kind of crazy against the Vikings. But enough yapping about the Lions. In some other football news that even non-football fans might think is kind of interesting. During that Thursday Night Football game that I just mentioned, it was between the Rams and the 49ers. In the third quarter, one of the Rams or the 49ers linebackers, Devondre Campbell, just decided, you know what? I'm done playing. He basically retired in the third quarter. Like his coaches were telling him, like, you know, go ahead and get in there. Like they have a few injuries at linebacker or whatever. He was starting for them at the beginning of the year, and then he like got benched in week 3, and he's been pissed about that ever since. At least that's my understanding of the situation. I haven't followed it too closely. Ooh, and there we go. We got our launcher kills done. But he just said, fuck it, I'm done. I'm leaving. And he straight up just left the game. And the craziest part about it is not the first time that that's happened. This has actually happened, I think, 3 times in the last 10 years. The first one was like Vontae Davis for the Colts. It was just at halftime, and he's like, I can't keep up. I'm done. I can't play football anymore. I'm out of here. Which I guess is fair. I mean, maybe, I guess you realize when you realize, but maybe just finish out the game. Well, there's Whitecap too. Damn, we're already on gold. But the story of that was pretty funny from like players in that Colts locker room talking about like how it went down. He's just like, I'm done. I can't keep up. I'm out of here. And then after that, there was like a pretty public one with Antonio Brown, where his last game for the Buccaneers, it was just like he was on the sideline. He was having a fucking meltdown. And we saw like Mike Evans coming over and trying to like calm him down. And he just said, nope. And took his jersey and his shoulder pads off and walked off the field mid-game. But he just like walked right out the stadium. He was done. He was fed up. And now all he does is tweet about the cracker of the day on Twitter, or a social media manager does. I don't think that's actually him trying to pull for CTE ESPN. But it's just some wild shit going on in the NFL right now. And I guess for my final thoughts to put a bow on this yap session is I hope that we're not peaking too early. I actually do like that we haven't sealed the division or the conference or anything yet. because I feel like it keeps the team like hungry, keeps them like trying to fight for something. So that's not like they can sit back and relax and, you know, take a load off. But I would hate to have like a great regular season and then just not be able to do anything in the playoffs. I really hope that whatever issues we got, like with our defense not really being able to do a whole lot in the second half and our offense kind of stalling out at times, I hope that we can solve some of those issues and at least play like competitive football going into the postseason. And overall, I'm just excited to see where the rest of the year goes. Like, this has been the best Lions team that I've ever seen in my life, and I hope that we can continue this and if we're lucky enough, make it to a Super Bowl. I've never seen my team make it to a Super Bowl. Nobody has seen the Lions make it to a Super Bowl. Last time we made it to a championship game, it wasn't even called the Super Bowl. And that was all the way back in 1957. So not a whole lot of people alive to witness that. Like, even JFK saw that shit. And by the time he got popped, it was a few years past then. And we got real close last year, but it's real hard to make it back. I just hope that we can somehow do it. But for those of you that have survived the YAP session, there's been like a little... I guess it's a minor update, but major for keyboard and mouse users, where they severely reduce the visual recoil that we get in this game. Like, that's been a big complaint with a lot of people playing on keyboard and mouse, that using like iron sights really, or just like any weapon that has any sort of recoil, like the recoil patterns and everything aren't hard to control. It's just that you can't even see where you're shooting at, because the muzzle flare or the muzzle flash used to be a lot brighter than before. And just the weapon, like, shaking, the bobbing. Oops, I accidentally took the teammate out. But the way the weapon would shake and bounce right in front of your eyes as you're trying to shoot was absolutely ridiculous before. It was so over the top to the point where you can't really see anything. And now I feel like I can use iron sights way more. Like, I normally run iron sights. I feel like it's a waste of an attachment spot, especially in hardcore, to throw on an optic unless you're going for like long shots or something, or maybe it helps you get headshots more. But honestly, ever since the update, I've been feeling like I'm aiming a lot better, and especially since we switched off the controller with the high sensitivity. But I think I'm gonna go more in depth with that in another video, because we got the Lions playing tomorrow, so we're gonna have to do another game where guy does sports talk, but I'll squeeze that into like the back end of that video, so it's not all football talk like this one. I'm over here saying like an optic is a waste of attachment slot, but look at this atrocity that I have on this AK. The fat drum and the grenade launcher on there. We just need to throw the fat scope on this too. Oh, there's a level up. Did we get gold? I don't even know what our gold challenge is. Is it double kills? Like 10 double kills? Honestly, the camo challenges in this game are pretty stupidly easy. I think just the headshots have been taking me a while to get. But now with the recoil change, it should make it a bit easier for me to pop some domes. There we go. That's back-to-back doubles. Even a triple. There we go. Give me gold. Go ahead. Ooh, and there's the game. I won't even know if we unlocked it. Did we get it? Nope. How close are we? Oh, we just need one more. That's what I'm talking about. I can just sit here and yap, and then all of a sudden camos are done. But if I'm focusing on them, the camo curse comes and gets me. Ooh, and that should be it right there. Give me gold. Thank you. Appreciate it. Pleasure doing business with you, game. Almost made it through that sentence without stuttering. But I'll go ahead and spare this lobby from my wrath. Let's make sure that we actually got it. Okay, game. What are you doing? Oh, yeah, there it is. Perfect. We just need to get 6 more ARs done. I am behind on this dark matter grind. And just in case you're curious, here's a look at this monstrosity in gold, and it's beautiful. It's glorious. A golden AK, pretty iconic, and it looks really good, especially with this charm I got on there. It's got that shit on. But that's about it. I'm gonna try to stay back here on multiplayer a bit more. I do get pretty distracted with the zombie stuff, especially with the new map and everything coming out. I'll try not to be at the store getting milk and cigarettes for very much longer this time. But it would help if you guys were a little bit nicer with these challenges. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate your love and support, and I will see you in the next one. Later.